What's up, guys? This is Jakob. I'm Content AI Manager and founder of Content AI Tools, and welcome to a new episode of the Content AI Show with me as the host. I'm speaking with people all around the world within the AI niche and also in the content space. And I have a special guest today, Joe Graham, who is the founder and the host of the podcast 150K podcast, where he helps entrepreneurs around the world to make their dreams come true, to have a six-figure business. Welcome, Joe, to the show. We're
Thank
excited to speak to you.
thank you for having me.
Awesome.
It's been super fun. I know we played around a little bit and had to move it around, but we're here today, so I'm super excited to be here, my friend.
That's really cool. So we are going to. This is a very special episode because we are going to speak about processes that are necessary for your business as an entrepreneur. So sales systems. Why is it important to have a sales system and topics like that? So, but before we jump into the topic of sales, can you introduce yourself in a nutshell? So, who's Joe and why are you doing the things that you're doing?
Sure. So it's kind of funny. I've been in sales for about 16 years, different types of sales, B2B sales, from selling in home to selling to businesses to selling over the phone, which is what I've been doing for the last probably 6 to 8 years. I didn't actually even think I was going to be in sales. I fell into sales because the job I had shrunk. So I had to actually get a job in sales, take the risk, bet on myself. But as I got along, and the whole idea behind my podcast was really simple, I started figuring out that sales and success leaves clues, that I was starting to do certain things and they would give me that result again and again. I started making over 100, then I started making over 150. Then I made 200,000, and I was like, holy crap, I can do that. Then I took the kids and the wife to Disney, and we went to Hawaii. We did, the fun stuff. And I'm like, well, there's other dads out there that need help, and other people as well. But you always, when you're doing a podcast or something, you think, who do I really think about helping? I'm like, I want other dads to go to Disney with their kids. And so the idea of the 150K podcast is simply this: it gets you into the top 10% of earners in the world. The cool thing with that is I call it step one. Everyone talks to you about getting the Lambos, getting the millions, doing all these cool things, which I'm not against. But until you get to step one and be able to start building your life by design, you can dream, but let's get you there. So this is kind of that whole idea, the concept of it. And then I've gotten into doing sales coaching and helping sales teams level up. Kind of stayed in my niche because I'm really good at sales. I'm really good at talking on the phone and that type of thing. So that's kind of a short version of it.
When you say phone calls, is it right really old school? So I have a phone and I'm calling them and just
Yes.
listening to their voice. Okay, got it.
Yes.
Okay.
So, I do more than that, but like predominantly, like I'll do an email marketing campaign where I'll send them an email. So, like, say I'm working with something like fiber internet, I'll send them an email campaign, find out who the person is, touch pain points, do that. But at the end of the day, relationships will always beat algorithms. You can have a funnel, you can have a system, you can have whatever, but you're going to have to talk to the person at the end of the day, normally to get it in. Or if they join your program, you got to talk to them and help them once they've signed up. So, I've been doing sales over the phone. And the crazy thing is, I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars and made companies millions just by picking up the phone and saying, hey, I just want to talk to you about this product, or hey, can I help you solve this problem? And it's so crazy because if you come at it from a heart of helping them and fixing their problems, it takes the sales part out of it. It takes that whole because like in the movies and all, you see the people and they're on the phone, right? And they're like, all right. And in reality, it's not that way. Like that mental manipulation only works a little bit. But when you get into the heart of your customer and you start helping them and you start solving their problem, it's great. Then it's like having a cup of coffee with a friend or a cup of tea, whatever drink of choice you want. You're helping them solve a problem. And then you make a crap ton of money because you solved a problem for them. So they're cool with paying it, but no one feels guilty. So it's a fun, I love sales. Like if you can reframe it, that's the first thing I always teach people. If you can reframe your thought process on sales, especially as an entrepreneur, the sky's the limit. Because I think most entrepreneurs and business owners I know that aren't in the sales space have that mental block. They have that thought of, well, sales is icky or yucky or bad. In reality, it's just problem solving. And who better to help them than you, because you're ethical, you're moral, and you have their interest in your mind and heart.
So many very interesting and very important things. So you mentioned guilt, for example. So this is also something that I think many people struggle with. So especially as entrepreneurs, it's so easy. We're just, yeah, I would love to help you. and also would love to do it for free, but at some point you have to just charge your clients. So did you have any struggle with this? So was it hard for you okay, and how did you overcome this?
No, I think that's something that we all struggle with because, and here's the funny thing, shifting from selling for a company, like I've worked in corporate America for a long time and I sold millions of dollars for companies. It was easy for me to sell, right? When it shifted to me, for some reason, I had to get past that mental block that what I was offering had enough value to charge. And I'm sitting here going, wait a minute, I sold 1.8 million for the company I worked for 1 year. Then I sold 1.9, then I sold 2.1. If I can do that for them, what I'm doing, the systems that I teach and create can take someone else's lives and help them build the life by design that they want. So that took that fear away. And then it's just getting past the fear of asking for the sale. So it's not like, because everyone needs to have skin in the game. So let's talk coaching programs because that's kind of going to be the easiest one. A lot of people understand. You have a product or service, like say fitness, right? You can train someone to get fit and strong. Well, if they don't have any skin in the game, they may listen, they may not. But if they had to pay $1,000 for your coaching program, I'm just making up numbers because sales is a made up number. Now they have skin in the game, but now they're going to listen to you more as an authority because now they put some time and effort and money into it. So it's not a bad thing to ask. Plus, you're worth it. You're collapsing time for people. I think a lot of times people don't realize that. I'm an excellent salesperson. It's taken me 16 years to get to where I am. I've won multiple awards. I've been on multiple trips. But in the beginning, I was horrible. In the beginning, the first guy I talked to, honestly, I looked at it and I said, I don't think I can do this. And I went to walk out. He goes, no, dude, I'm going to buy gutters. It's okay. It's a little gutter job, like a $500 job. And now I'm talking to CEOs and CFOs, through my career in corporate America, selling millions of dollars. And it's just like, it's that mental shift of understanding, first and foremost, sales is not about you. It's about the customer. Second, a no now does not mean a no forever. Third, a no is not directed at you at all. It's directed at what product or service you're offering them. That's it. So if I can help you, great. If I can't help you right now, cool. Do you want me to follow up with you later on? What in this relationship am I going to do? And then I just put the grandma factor in to help me get past that whole thought or fear process.
Yeah.
If I won't say it to my grandma, I'm not going to say it to a client. Now, understand, my grandma was a little short Irish woman. She had a Lithuanian husband, and she was a no-nonsense type of person. So I could say a lot to my grandma. But you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't try to swindle your grandma. You wouldn't try and take advantage of your grandma. And if you have your customer's heart like that, and the product and service you're offering is valuable, they're going to buy from someone. Why not you?
Yeah. So, yeah, it's all about trust, right? So, yeah. And so can you reverse engineer it? So, for example, I mean, my way of getting the trust of the people is through my live show, for example. I'm interviewing people and I'm earning the trust, and some are buying from me, but some also become friends or interview partners for articles and things like that. But that's the way how I do it. But if you have, for example, somebody who you never touched before, how would you? What would be your approach to win his or her heart? What would be your approach?
Well, and I love analogies. So I kind of look at it like cold calling or reaching out to someone warm or cold is really simple like this. It's like going to the bar, and if you're a guy, I'm going to use a guy because I'm a guy. I can't think like a girl. I'm not going to pretend I can. And you go into the bar or a place you're going to, and you want to take them home, right? You're getting there at 6 o'clock at night. They have tons of options and tons of stuff. So you got to go in. You have to be creative. You have to develop a story. You have to find out what they're interested in. You have to build the relationship so that maybe you can get a second date or go home, whatever your intent is at the end. So that's what it is going in cold. It's not like when you have a funnel or stream of something. That's more like you're at the bar at midnight and the girl's going home with someone. She just has to pick you. So it's a little bit more creative. It's a little bit more building the value of what you can offer, what you can bring. But it's not product dumping. It's not like, look at how great I am. Look at what I can do. Look at all this. No, it's like, hey, so, this is what I do. And then you start asking them questions like, are you into, what does your business do for sales right now? How's that working for you? What aspects are you having any issues with? And you get your customer to start opening up. It's a reverse engineer. You first and foremost make it about them 100%. You don't product dump. You don't tell them what you can do. You don't even mention really, except for the fact, hey, I can maybe help you with sales, but tell me a little bit about your business and see if it's even a good fit. Because if not, I may refer you to someone I know that can help you, Or, if not, cool, we can just be friends. And if you take it from that approach, it takes away that, oh, this guy's going to try and pitch me. And secondly, online, sometimes it might be the long game. Like you mentioned with content and stuff, they're seeing you on the show the first time. Then they're going to see you in a couple of weeks when the show comes up again. Then they start watching you continuously. And then all of a sudden now you're posting content and they're commenting. So you're commenting with them. You're building the relationship. You're building the relationship to the point where it gets to the point where you've given them some good, valuable content, but now they're stuck and they need help. Well, now we're friends because I've engaged with them. I've replied to their comments. Maybe we DM back and forth on some questions. Then I move them on to a call. It's really just building that relationship. It's so simple. People make it hard. And I think that's the part that a lot of times entrepreneurs will think, well, if I have this one trick or this one offer, this one thing, no, you're the secret sauce. Be you, be authentic. You're going to draw your person or people that you can help, and then it's going to work. And then I always just have it set up that if I can help you, great. If I can't, I'm going to refer you, which blows people's minds because now it's taken away, oh, he's trying just to take something from me. And I've referred tons of people. Like I have friends all over the world that I refer for like sales, business, marketing, all that stuff on purpose because it comes back to you. You know, that law of attraction or that law of reciprocity where you give and it will come back to you. And you just begin to build your community and it just works because it's based on relationship and helping instead of me, transactional. And in today's day and age, my friend, with everyone being transactional, with everyone having this funnel and pushing and this funnel and that funnel and buy, when you stop a moment, take a breath and engage their heart, you win 100%. No one can compete with that because you can't go and beat, like say an Apple or Sony or someone big on with. They have more money. They have more resources. They can go super wide. You can go super deep and build a community with 500 people and make more money than a company that maybe has 30,000 followers, but they're just transactional. It's just all about the intent.
Yeah, I just love it. I mean, yeah, it's really... So it's a process. So it's a long term. I also see this as a long-term goal. I'm interviewing people like you and building their trust, winning their hearts, and then they become friends to some degree, and they're trusting. Yeah,
it's always the long game. Everyone online thinks that everyone's an overnight success, and in reality, they're not. It's building those relationships, getting into the rooms, networking with the right people, helping people out, doing the things you need to do so that, they like and trust you, then they'll buy from you. It's the same thing. It's just online.
Yeah. Okay, let's assume I'm a solopreneur who started my own business 1 or 2 years ago. And so to some degree, I have to sell. So what habits or what rituals would you recommend to entrepreneurs who are just starting out, who maybe are not that good in sales? Do you have any recommendations?
Sure. First, what number do you need? So what is I would call it freedom number, a number you need to be able to continue your business first. So if that's 5,000 a month, cool. That's I need this to make the business work number. So we will reverse engineer how many sales you need to get that. So if you have a product that pays $1,000, you need 5 people a month, right? So again, just reverse engineering. If you need to get 5 people closed a month, how many people do you need to talk to? Is it 200 people? Is it 1,000 people? And when I say talk to online, it could be content post here, DM here, video here that you did. There's different ways that you can bring people into your system, right? So you need to know what your numbers are there. Second, you need to have a system in place to be able to move them down what I call the sales process. So you have your people that you're just getting to know, right? They're probably not going to buy that month. Then you have your group that's been in your group because you said you've been a solopreneur for a couple of years. So you have a following, hopefully, at this point. So you have followers. You go through there and you move them down the line. If I was a solopreneur and I needed to make money right away, I'd go back to the people that bought from me and I'd ask them how I could help them first. And if they needed something else from me, I would sell them, bring them into my fold. They've already liked, buy, and trust from me from once. So it's either to sell them again. Or secondly, hey, you know what, man, I helped you, with this process, right? Is that still working good? Cool. I'm looking for like 5 more people that maybe I can help. Do you know of anyone that could use my help like I helped you? And I'm going to go and work for my warm market back and then build it out there to the point where at the end, maybe I'll catch a couple from the cold content. But if I'm a solopreneur that's been here for a couple of years, I probably have some clients I can build from there. If I have no clients, it's a different game. Now I need to attract attention. Now it's I need to be not over the top in their face, but I still need to push it down a little bit. So I need to have, when you're first starting out, you almost need to have a low tier offer to get them in so that they can trust you a little bit, but it's not as big of a risk because you haven't gotten them to the point where you can say, hey, you know what, I need you to pay me $10,000 to do this. Now I have programs that are 10 grand that I charge, but you know, we haven't met enough yet. But you know what? If you're having problems with, we'll just throw it like say maybe prospecting. I have a video course I can sell you. It's like $97. It's like a dip your toe in, and then you just do little things there, or you do like a master class where you're going to teach on, you know, marketing or editing, whatever your sphere is, and you just start making yourself a authority there. And then also when you're first building, the last thing is you might have to get a job on the side to build your dream. You may have to drive Uber. You may have to have a day job while you're building your dream. It's okay. As long as you're building your dream, you're far better than 90% of the people that just think about it but don't act on it. So it's not always just a jump, but there's those little things that you can do, and it just really depends on your business and where you're at.
Yeah. So yeah, I still have to figure out the 10K program. So that's something that I'm struggling because that sounds like a big bunch of money. So that I can't ask for. So that's
well, and that goes to a mental thing with you, because like I was thinking of it this before, and this is going back into my sales career, right? I was doing oil and gas investment, and the average investment was $50,000 or $100,000. That was the average investment. I literally was talking to multimillionaires saying, hey, I need you to invest this. And I had to, in that case, because I wasn't that guy, like I was just selling them, I had to be like, well, if you can't handle it, whatever. And like I had to get past that mental thing. But it's just value. Think of it this way. I have an iPhone, right? I love my iPhone. I paid $1,000 for my iPhone. I'm quite sure I paid $1,000. My wife hates iPhones. She will pay $1 for it. She hates them. But a Samsung, she really likes a Samsung. It's just what value are you adding? Who's your client? And how much time are you shrinking for them? So if you want a $10,000 deal, shrink time for someone that it makes them $200,000-300,000. They'll gladly pay $10,000 to make $200,000 to $300,000. All you're doing is just 20xing what you're charging.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Never saw it that way.
Yeah, there are people out there that will definitely write that check. I know people that have spent $50,000 to $100,000 on self-improvement. Like I've been in rooms with them. I've talked with them. I spent in the last year myself probably 20 just on getting into groups, marketing, learning, leveling up because I want to develop my skill set. It's the same thing.
Yeah. You mentioned already a couple of times sales systems. Can you speak a little bit more about that one? So is this something for bigger corporations, or is this also something for small, medium enterprises? So what is it? Okay.
Yeah, well, because a sales system to me is just taking them down a sales customer journey. So if you sell coaching, your customer journey would simply be going from cold to getting them into your world, to starting to get them to buy into what you're doing, to maybe getting them on a call, to getting them into the process to the end game where you make them a client. Now, how do you do that? Let's go B2B world. We'll do that one first because that's easy. In the B2B world, maybe you send them an email saying, hey, I have this widget. Would you be interested in it? They say yes. You get them on a call. You start talking to them. You do a presentation, a proposal. That's old school sales. Sales processes in like the online space are a little bit different because it's a different game, but it's still the same game. Now, instead of an email, you're doing a video. Now, instead of an email, you're doing a DM. Now, instead of an email, you're doing a written content, however you do that. And then you could send them a funnel if you have a funnel that just keeps building value. And I'm pretty sure most of your listeners know what a funnel is. Or B, you can do it old school, whereas you have a piece of content, say, hey, you know what? I'm going to train 5 people this month on how to increase their sales by 20%. Send me a DM. I'll get you the info. Maybe you get 8 people that give you the DM, right? Okay, cool. Hey, here's what I'm going to do in this system. And here's what I'm going into the system. I'm going to tell them this is what we're going to do together. I'm going to teach you how to find your ideal client. I'm going to show you how to talk to them and understand their pain points. I'm going to show you how to overcome their objections so that they trust you to move forward. I'm going to teach you how to ask for the sale so that at the end of the day, after you give them all this value, you actually get your worth and you get paid. And then I'm going to give you a follow-up plan that will show you how to stay in touch with them until they're ready to move. That's just a quick sales process system. 5 people, I'm going to charge $5,000 per person. And maybe when you do that at the end, you have, of the 8 people that hit it, 1 buys. Well, cool. I said I wanted 5. I got 1 person that just paid me $5,000 for it. Great. You could also use that same thing and put it into a video. So once you do that training, like say you're going to do a group training like that, do the group training, video it. Now you have a course. Now the 5 people that paid for it are going to get individual treatment. They're going to get hands-on stuff. They're going to get dug into their business. Like I customize deals and sales processes for people. So like if you're in the insurance agency, I'm going to teach your setters how to get people to, get into your flow. If you're in fitness, I'm going to teach you how to attract your right client, right? But the people that maybe they couldn't get you in at the 5K level, now you already have a video you can use. Now you can come back and say, hey, guess what? I did a master class on how to increase your sales by 20%. I know some of you couldn't make it. I'm going to offer that this week only till Friday at $299. Then it's going to go up to $497. Shoot me a DM if you want me to know. I don't have to have a funnel. I don't have to have anything. I can get a Zoom. I can record the videos and I can send it out to them and they can use my Stipe or whatever payment form you want. You can go super low tech or you can go super high tech and have a funnel that does a lot of that for you. It's just attracting your ideal client, finding their pain points, talking to them about it, getting them to open up, and then moving them down the line. The other little key thing that most people forget, because we like to talk about ourselves, and I know I've been talking a lot here, but we like to talk about ourselves and do all this stuff and everything, is on a sales call. When you're talking to someone, if they're talking less than you, if you're talking more than your client, you're losing. You don't want to be talking on the sales call. You want them to be opening up and telling you their dreams, their visions, their plans, what they want to do so that you can come and say, cool, you know what? I think this might work for you. If you do this with me and we take the next 30 days, I can create a life by design plan for you to succeed.
Yeah, I think listening is the key. So active listening and maybe also reframing and saying things like, I just want to make sure that I understood what I hear. Is this what you mean with this goal, or do you want to achieve this or that? I think that's the key. Yeah.
100%. Cool. People will tell you what they want, and then all you got to do is create a package for it. So if we were talking about the first time entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, and you're trying to figure out what do I really want to do, start getting on calls with people saying, hey, well, how can I help you? Tell me a little bit about what you're looking for. Listen to what they say, and then develop a course on it. Develop something on it that you can help them with, or get an affiliate program if you know someone that maybe you don't deal with trauma, but like, man, I'm just having a rough time, but you know someone that does. Like, hey, you know what? That's not my space. I don't know how to do it, but my friend Brian does that. And you send them to Brian, and then you get a little referral from that because you're helping them. But it's still good because you're not going to send someone and put your name on something that you don't believe in. So, there's so many different ways to start in the beginning until you dial in your, for lack of a better term, ideal offer or best offer now or whatever the new catchphrase for it is. How you help people.
And it changes also all the time. So that was also my experience. So the products, the services are changing. You're evolving. You become better, and you're changing your pitch and things like that.
Well, okay, you're always changing the wrapping paper. It's like Christmas. You're always changing the wrapping paper. You want it to be exciting. You want it to make them happy. You want them to think, oh, what's in the box? And it might be the same thing. You just said it different ways. So like I said earlier, I said, I'm going to show you how to get your sales up by 20%. I might switch it this way, hey, I'm going to have this class on learning how to find your ideal client so you can make $200,000 this year. Same class, same thing. All I do is change the wrapping paper. All I do is just say it a little bit of a different way to attract a different person to bring them into my world.
Yeah. Basically changing the copy, right? So it's different perspective, different angle. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, no, I was going to say the only other thing that I want to caveat is you have to be consistent and you have to be boringly consistent, meaning that you can't just rah-rah for 2 weeks and then disappear for 2 days and then rah-rah for 3 days and disappear. You have to have a consistent showing up online because success is boring. It's doing the things over and over that will get you the desired outcome, but you have to be doing it each and every day. So that is the caveat. So everyone produces great content sometimes, the people that win produce great content all the time, and they repackage it and they keep being consistent with it. I just wanted to not leave that part out because that's like a huge key. If we miss that part, they're going to be going and saying Joe is lying, and I'm not lying. You just got to be consistent.
Yeah, that's important. Sure. So so one big mistake when it comes, that's also a content topic. So publishing one podcast doesn't help you. You have to be consistent and do it on a regular basis, on a weekly basis, or on a monthly basis. It's up on your space, basically. What helps you? Yeah. Okay, so the solopreneur. Okay, I'm speaking a lot with software companies, and so one big pain point that they have is basically they need clients, so obviously, but they also need data. So they need tester who test their software and things like that. And they struggle with. So they are very good in product development, but they are not good in marketing and also selling the software. So do you have any experience with software companies? Or
A little.
Yep.
So
okay.
Yep, I have a little bit of experience with software companies. More so, I've been in the IT world for about 6 years. So I work for a company called Spectrum Enterprise. They do managed network sales, fiber internet, all that type of stuff. So I kind of understand the concept with it. It's getting your message out. So you can have the best product ever, but if you can't get your message out to people, how can they know? They won't know. They can't. They're not able to see what you have to offer. So first and foremost, especially if you're a software company, depending on how big you are, you have to attract attention. You have to know who it is that you help the most. So if you're helping small business, I would do an email marketing campaign for a small business. I would do a cold calling campaign into a small business. I would maybe even hire a sales team to come in and do a selling for me to begin with. So there's two different ways you can do it. You can hire a sales team who will come in and they'll sell your product for you. They call it like a fractional sales team. They'll come in and they'll do all the different stuff. They'll take that legwork off for you until you make enough revenue that you can hire your own team, or you can hire someone like me who can come in and train a team for you to do it if you want to keep it in-house. But it's still marketing, attraction, all that type of stuff. The process is still the same, whether you're a solopreneur or you are a $4 to $8 million company. You still have to attract attention. You still have to have a system in place to get them to come into the funnel. You still have to have someone reach out to them and say, hey, this is my product. Here's the price. Do you want to buy? You still have to have the implementation. And then the key thing here, when you're talking to businesses, you better do what you say you're going to do, because word of mouth travels more than anything. So you need to have a customer journey once they sign up that will move them through the process so that they don't get left off. So my buddy, George Bryan, and I'm going to give him 100% credit because he taught me this. I, again, always like to throw credit when it's not me. I learned this from George Bryan. You can check his stuff out. He has a customer journey plan where when you get into, like, say they bought the software, right? And you get someone there. The first day they get an email saying, hey, great job on actually buying my stuff. This is how it's going to work. Instead of just like, because most people give them a bill. Like the first thing after someone buys, they give them a bill. That's like big buyer's remorse. That makes no sense. Don't just give them a bill. That's some unused space, because there's like, I think 2 emails that can never be sent to spam. You're like a receipt and then like a thank you email. Both of those are supposedly protected from the spam bot. So they're going to get those emails. So why not on those emails? Give them the stuff at the bottom, but tell them, hey, thank you so much for joining my program. This is a software. I know you haven't even gotten it yet, but you're going to get it in the next couple of days. And then you just take them down the journey. You know, you don't want to acquire new kids until you actually take care of the kids you have. You know, so I think we think so much of acquisition, that we forget that once we get our customers in the system, we get them going. If you take really good care of them, well, guess what, software company? Now you have happy people. They bought your software. They know people that need to buy it. You can go back to them and start getting what we call low-hanging fruit. So that would be the other little thing, because, again, the sales process is going to be the same in the front. But as you build, and especially if you're going to scale, your customers that have already bought from you are going to be the key to your scaling more so than your new acquisition, because it's lower cost. When you advertise, you're going to have to charge a lot more, pay a lot more to get new customers. Well, if someone's already bought this from you and they're happy and you've taken good care of them, Now you can just go back and ask for referrals because you've done the thing you said you're going to do. Caveat that, make sure you do what you're supposed to do, and you win. I know I'm like a broken record, but it really is relationships always 100%. Taking care of your customer, making sure you're meeting their needs, doing the thing that they need, and that's how you win.
Yeah, it just sounds so easy when you say it.
It's not. It's not that it's easy. It's just that if you do it right, it works, and it works great. And when you do it wrong, it blows up in your face. And believe me, I was a sales guy years ago that tried to do if you buy now and if you do this and you do that, and I'd get people to buy, but then they'd return. I don't want returns. I want it to be where you're going to think of me as your family. Like, I just took great care of you. I did the thing I said I was going to do. I've showed up. I overperformed. I did everything I could because I know that at the end of the day, if I do that, it's a win for me. It's a win for you. And then you're not upset for paying me $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 because I just took care of you. I just made you make $200,000 or $400,000, or I just solved a problem for you that you couldn't solve. It's just, I think we just think it's too hard. We get in our head and think it has to be hard. It doesn't have to be hard. This has been working for thousands of years. It's not broke. You just have to treat people fairly, solve their problem, and do things right, and you win.
Yeah. Yes. So definitely have to change a couple of things and ask some tough questions by myself. So where do you see the biggest difference between B2B and B2C sales?
Yep. B2B is more long cycles, but it's more relationship, but it's also more longer term. So there's a lot of times in B2B, there's contracts, there's return sales. It's a lot more if I get in the right network and talk to the right people. I have people that call me and still buy that I talked to 6-7 years ago because I developed that relationship. It's a relationship-based type of thing. You still have to meet their needs and all, but once you get that ticking and going and you get the right companies, you just write your own checks. B2C is more transactional because they're buying a widget normally from you. So instead of it being like products or service or stuff, they're buying a widget. They're buying maybe a gym membership. They're buying something that's not going to be as much of a long term. That's the biggest difference. But if you can treat your B2C people like you do your B2B people and make them feel like they're family, even on their shorter customer journey, you're going to be able to get into that referral base that I've been talking about, that where the real money comes in. Now it's quicker, it's faster sales. It might be, a week turnaround. It might be a month turnaround. Instead of like B2B, it's 2 to 3 months on average for most B2B stuff. But that's the biggest thing. It's just the length of term and how much influence and relationship building you have to do to make it work.
Well, cool. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. And also bigger budgets on B2B. Can you say this?
Oh yeah, okay. They totally have bigger budgets. So like we were talking about phones before, $1,000 for a phone. Great, that's cool. Well, if I'm working on a internet system for someone and they're spending $2,000 to $3,000 a month for their firewall, their internet, their phone system, that factors out to be, $200,000 to $300,000 over a course of a 3-year term. Yeah. It's a different game, but they're still going to be paying it. So it's just, you when you get into this world enough, you learn that it's just sales is a made up number. What are you willing to pay me for me to produce something for you? I like Kauai coffee. I bought this cup. I paid $20 for it. People who never had it wouldn't pay $5 for it because they don't know the value of it. But I like the taste of the coffee. It's the same thing. It's just value versus cost and how much can you make it pay, but making sure that here's rule of thumb. If you're 20xing whatever you're charging them, you're good. That's how I look at it. If I'm giving you 20 times the value of what this cost is, it's not a big deal.
Yeah. So, but how can I define the value that I create through my own work? Sometimes it's sometimes hard to define numbers. So, for example, I'm creating blog articles for a company, but this company wants to sell products, but I don't know their price range, and so do you get what I mean? So sometimes it's not that easy to define what's 10x or 20x for them, and do you have a
Yeah.
the metrics or something? Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
what I would do there, because you said you're not sure what their price range is, you're not sure what they're doing, but you're doing a blog article for them. So you're giving them publicity on their product. Am I hearing you correctly, or their service?
Yeah.
So you're talking about them. You're telling them what they're doing and all. You almost need to be like, hey, you know what? It would help me, like talking to your client, it would help me if I knew what your price point was, because in that way I can build value around that. Again, win-win. You're not saying you're buying, you're just building that value. Sometimes you have to go back to your clients and just dig a little bit more and find out, okay, this is what you're saying you want me to do. This is the end result. You want more sales. I need some more information from you so that I can build the system for you correctly. Because then if they're selling, like $200 tickets and you're building the value off of what that is, whatever that company does, you're able to go, cool. So their average ticket value is $200. Great. So I need to bring them enough value. So if I charge them $10,000, because I'm going to use that number because you brought it up, but they're going to make 100,000. Well, that's a 10% value from it. If I'm going to charge them 20,000, but they're making 200, that's 10%. Well, if I'm going to charge them, like I said, the 10,000 and they make 200, well, there's your 20%. It's just, I just say a 20x just to put that in my mind. I'm trying to bring them as much value as possible. Now, you can't say, I can guarantee this is going to make you this, but you can formulate and build your plan and what you're doing for them, your system, to attract enough people for them so that they're able to, acquire new business and start building that. But it's a lot of times sitting down with them saying, hey, I want to help you, but I want to make sure I understand what you need so that I can do it. Because then you can come back and say, you know what? I did this blog. I brought this point up. You're great here, 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 here. This should draw on this client for this. And then you build your case and say, cool. So it's going to be 10 grand because it's going to make you $20,000 or $200,000. And then, like you mentioned, reverse engineering. That's just kind of the way you would do it.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Okay, so just to wrap this up, so a couple of mistakes that entrepreneurs make or business owners make. So you mentioned the thing about just pushing your message and not listening is one mistake. What else do we have? So things like not having a customer journey is also something.
Yeah.
Are there any other mistakes that you see all the time? Okay.
Yes, undervaluing yourself. We hit it about 4 or 5 times because we are so stuck in, I'm not worth it to have this amount of money, or I'm not worth it to charge this amount, or should I really do this? And we get in our own head, and people don't perceive you the same way. Like, I don't perceive myself the way other people perceive me. And sometimes I had to let them tell me, no, Joe, you're doing a great job. I'm surprised. Like, you're amazing, because we get so stuck in, well, this is a simple process for me. I use me as an example. When I first started doing sales coaching, I was charging like $250. And I've been selling and making companies money, like I'm talking millions of dollars year after year, making companies millions of dollars, right? So I understand the sales game. But then when I went to teach this, the thing that's making companies millions of dollars, and I was making good money off of it, can I charge you $250? And people can feel that energy. So you have to shift your energy and go, wait a minute, no, I just made this company over $2 million last year helping them. I can charge $5,000 to train someone to do this, because if they use my principles and my systems, they may make 100, they may make 200, they may make $1 million off of these processes that I've taught them. Because again, I'm going to customize their plan. I'm going to find the pain points. I'm going to take care of them. I'm going to show them the way to get their process in place. And then it's just them putting the people in and doing the work. Notice how I changed my state of being there from, can I charge you $250? to, no, I'm going to do this. I can do this. I'm going to help you do this. And it's that transfer of energy, which is another low key in sales, that just helps you reframe. But that would be the other thing, the big three. Either you talk too much, you undervalue yourself, or you are so caught up in it being perfect that you're not doing and acting and being the person you need to be to help someone.
Yeah. So you mentioned transfer of energy, and then you said something I couldn't get that one. So that was an interesting point. But yeah, it's really interesting how these we have these thoughts in our head that you can't charge that much money. That's exactly what I went through. Yes.
Oh, we all do. We ought to think of it this way. Someone sold a pool noodle and is a multimillionaire for selling a pool noodle. Like, the little noodles of the pool, or like a sticky note. a sticky note was a failed experiment for glue. It didn't stick enough. And so we said, you know what, maybe we could just make notes out of this. They made millions of dollars off of a failure. So I think it's just reframing our mindset and figuring out that, you know what, the worst case thing they can do is say no. That's it. Oh no, they said no to me. I've had a lot harder things than someone saying no to me. But what if they say yes?
Yeah. So when it comes to pitching, would you recommend? So, for example, I'm pitching for sponsorship deals, and I'm pitching through email. Would you recommend things like that you look for the direct call, or would you recommend pitching these things through email?
Different ways. So I would be creative with it. I wouldn't just do a regular email. So like, I'm gonna give you a little secret I used to get guests on my show, and I've had some pretty cool guests on my podcast, which I think just dropped episode 103. I literally would do a video. You can do it through email, you can do a DM or whatever, but it gives that human connection, that face, and be like, hey, real quick, just wanted to, let you know that I have a show coming up. Would love to have you on it. I've dropped 103 episodes so far, and I might name drop a few people that they know on their thing. All I'm doing there is I'm changing it up, and I'm being a little bit different than the typical, hey, would you sponsor me? So let's talk about sponsoring. I've run, how many shows have you produced so far?
I did around 300 or 400 podcasts, regular podcast episodes with audio. And since 2 years, I'm doing the live broadcasting, and I didn't count anymore. So I think this year I had around 200 episodes or something from live shows.
Yeah. So for podcasting, let's use the 300 to 400. Hey, here's the thing. You know what? I've done 300 to 400 podcasts, and then I would give them numbers. I've had 1.2 million downloads, whatever it is. I'm just making up numbers because I don't know your numbers. I'm just throwing it out there. And I would just give them the reasoning behind why they should sponsor me. I've been in 23 countries. I've had guests from all over the world. I've had these people that have been on. If you sponsor me, you're going to get into the market of people that are trying to level themselves up, that are already investing in themselves, because in the entrepreneurial space, most entrepreneurs will invest in themselves, and they're willing to pay money to do it. So let me give you some of my audience, and then the sponsor package is $10,000. I'm just going to keep using $10,000 because you said that was a high number. So we're going to break that thought. So, and then you go to companies that you believe in. So, and it also might be something like this, whatever type of company you want to sponsor, it has to align with your podcast, right? So you would go to Entrepreneurial World. I made that up. If that's something, sorry, I just made it up. And you go and say, hey, my show's on helping entrepreneurs, level up and get better, and salespeople get better. Would love for you to be a sponsor. I've had this person, that person on the show. We've had these numbers, and you just ask. And you just keep asking until someone says yes. And someone will eventually say yes, because they can go look and see that you had all the numbers. They say you had all the stuff. And it's just, we're afraid to ask because we think it's about us. It's not about us. It's about helping them. And if they say yes, great, we're good to go. If they say no, I've been told no 1,000 times, but that one yes could give me 10K. I'll ask 100 times to get 10K. I'll ask 300 times to get 10K. That doesn't bug me. Who cares? I may have to ask 300 people, but if they give me 10K, who wins? Me? So that's 300 no's or 299 no's for one yes 10K. Cool, let's go. I'm going to do it again. And I'm just going to keep doing it until I have the number I want.
So I'm just curious, how is your day structured? So do you have special days where you make pitches, or is it like every day is a pitch day? Or I mean, if I'm feeling sick and I'm not in the mood, it's not a good day for pitching, maybe? So do you have some rituals or habits when it comes to calling people and pitching ideas?
Yes. So I'm very big on structures. So when I get up in the morning, I get up through the week. Now, on the weekends, I'm a little bit different. Let myself sleeping a little bit more. But in the mornings, normally I'm up by 4:45. I go to a boxing, kickboxing, strength training gym, because you first have to fill yourself up before you can go help other people. You need to. And then I'll listen to a podcast. And then I have what I call golden hours. So from like 9 to 11, I'm doing some type of activity that is building my business, reaching out to clients, doing something to that regard that I know they're available. Then I might take a lunch. Then from 12:30 to 2, I'm doing the same thing. Those are, and I'm talking this is in my mind B2B world. Now, if you're in online, it's going to be a different day, but I'm just kind of giving you a B2B type of thing. So I'm reaching out to clients, right? In the afternoon, I'm reaching out to clients, and then I'm going to do admin from like 3:30 to 4 o'clock when I'm done, whatever. But I always have a structured time that I try to reach out to them, and it's a time that's convenient for them that I know that are going to be available. On the content space, I post at certain times. My podcast always drops Tuesdays at 8 a.m. You can on Facebook now, you can schedule your posts. I think you can do it on Instagram as well. So you can schedule out your week. And then I just try to be as consistent as possible. People know you're human. So if you're having a bad day, you're not feeling good, you can even repurpose content. Maybe you had a video that worked really well the week before. Just replay that at that same time. That way you don't have to exert energy, and then reach out to people when you feel good. But don't make it an excuse. Don't be like, I'm tired today, I'm not reaching out. Like, we're talking about the difference between being sick and not really feeling good, and I'm just being lazy today. Know yourself, and then you just move forward from there.
Yeah, makes sense. I also use automation tools so that because nobody knows what I posted 60 days ago. I can upload video material or snippets and then say, okay, repost this in 30 days or 60 days again on the same channels. And then I'm filling up my slots and don't have to think about them.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And it's so funny because you put a video 6 months ago, then you did it 3 months ago, then you did it last week, and someone goes, oh my God, this is great. You're like, you've been following me for 3 years. You didn't see it until now.
Yeah. This is one thing, and the other thing is also there are people who are always liking it. The same people are liking the same video 30 days ago, or writing the same comment under this video. That's also happening.
Yeah. Well, you know what you do with those? That content is hitting them. So that's when you reach out to them in the DM and say, hey, I noticed that you like this, and you open the conversation up because they're raising their hand saying, hey, I really like this. So if it's something that you can talk to them about and build that relationship, and then you just move them into your funnel.
Yes. So that's definitely, that's always what I say. What happens after the content is published? So I'm always DMing people or thanking them and saying thanks for your like, appreciate it, or trying to start the conversation, because the posting is the easy thing. So what happens after the post? That's my main thing. So that's also how I made sales, through the conversation after the content was published.
Yep. And it's perfect because you're giving them the human touch, because a lot of times people just put a post out and say, oh, they're going to just reach out to me and run to me. And a lot of times what I end up doing on my post is I look and I reply to all the comments. And if I don't have enough people that I've talked to that day, then I go to the likes and I start replying to them saying, hey, thank you for liking my post. I know right now in this world with all the attention, you took a moment to like it. So thank you. Is there anything I can help you with? And now I just opened up a conversation.
Wow, that's cool. I like that. Pretty smart. Awesome. Is there something else? So basically, where can people find more information about you, your podcast? Where should they go?
Sure. 150K podcast. So I keep everything simple. So on Instagram, it's the numbers 150K podcast. On Facebook, I have a group called 150K podcast. You can see it on Breaker, Anchor, and pretty much wherever it is. Spotify, Apple. I'm all over there. It is me, so you can DM me on there. I answer questions. I'm the guy. I also have another Instagram that's just my name, Joseph E. Graham. You can reach out to me that way. And I'm all over social, pretty much everywhere there. On LinkedIn, it's under my regular name, not under the podcast. For some reason, they like it if you put your name on LinkedIn. I don't know. So that's the easiest place to find me.
Cool. Awesome. And so are there any plans? I mean, I'm still thinking about what you said in the beginning about Disneyland, and because we were in Florida this year because my cousin has a wedding, and we said, well, the kids are not big enough for Disneyland. We will do it next time, but that's something definitely on my bucket list. So what are your plans for the 150K podcast? Are there any changes or some things that you're gonna change, or a new focus or something?
Not yet. So the 150K podcast is kind of my give. It's my give back to people. So I bring in my friends. Like I mentioned, George Bryan. I had Matt Vincent of Hate Brands on. I had Tony Watley of 365 Driven. All these people are farther along than me. They've done a lot more stuff than I have. And I bring them in and I let people see into the world and get to talk to them. So the 150K podcast is kind of my give thing. With me, I'm just more reaching out and trying to help entrepreneurs right now. People that maybe have that mental stuck. In fact, right now, I'm going to be taking 5 more people on because I limit the amount because I want to be able to pour myself into them. And I'm just going to help them build their business, figure out how to formulate their ideal client, figure out how to ask for the sale, talk to their customer, build their dream life by design. Because at the end of the day, sales is my tools. I want to help people create a life by design. That's what we were talking about, the Disney World, the Hawaii. That was just stuff I like to do. And I went to Montana just a couple weeks ago. You know, what is it that you like? Maybe you like cars. I don't care about cars, but I have friends who really like cars. You want to get a supercar? I can show you how to do that. Here's the tools. Here's the tactics.
Yeah, it's a vehicle to get to your dreams. Basically, sales system and sales. Awesome. Joe, was a pleasure speaking with you. Is there something that you want to share? Some last statement or something?
Sure. Yeah. Go after your dreams. Whatever your dream is, it's your dream. Don't care about what anyone else thinks about it. Don't even worry about it. They don't get a vote. It's your life. It's your passion. It's your dream. So first and foremost, live your life loud, live your life proud, do what you want to do. Second, love well. If you live your life how you should and you love people, you win. It's that simple. The world would be a lot better place if we chased our passions, our dreams, our desires, and we just loved well and treat people kindly. That's it. Game over. We win. No problems.
That's cool. Everything sounds so easy when you say it. That's really cool. I appreciate that one. Cool. Okay, just stay in line, Joe. Thanks for watching. To all the listeners, there were no questions so far, but if there's something, just let us know in the comment section. And thanks for watching, and see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.